Well, the main event is that season 2 of LA Frock Stars
Okay.
is premiering March 19th on Smithsonian Channel. This year we were blessed with 6 one-hour episodes, and it's a similar format. The editing is a little bit different. I really like the new format, and I think that people won't be disappointed with the content of this new season. In general, the way we wore, because I have a voracious appetite for buying, traditionally the month of February and the month of August are months where I do 50% off sales, everything on the first floor that you can touch. So if you're on a tight budget and you are looking for things on sale, just know that February and August are the times to come in. When I moved down to Los Angeles 10 years ago, I left my warehouse in San Francisco, which was film and television material. That material is not relevant in my boutique. I have like children's clothing, men's clothing, things like that. We tried selling men's clothing when I first opened. This is a woman's boutique. I don't want to even 10 years later try because there's a space issue. But that being said, I have, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of money tied up in inventory, and so I don't want to sell it as a fire sale, but I also don't want to be stuck paying warehousing fees, which I've done. I mean, when I think of the money I've piddled away storing for storage. So, and then there's issues of light damage and moths and dust and blah blah blah. So I really I put the pedal to the metal. I moved the stuff down last year from San Francisco. I closed the warehouse. I have a warehouse down here that I've just invested a lot of money into having racks built so that things are no longer in bags, which we brought down from the Bay Area. And I trademarked another name, and I haven't started looking for a website designer, but I'm going to build a website of women's clothing for $99 and under, and men's clothing and children's clothing priced as is. And the name of this business, which will be like a subsidiary of The Way We Wore, is Voguely Familiar. And then once I run out of material there, because I don't want to sell damaged stuff, I'll start repurposing. I want to have that done within a couple of years. I mean, like operating, generating good money, so that I can sell everything as a package. So 10 years from now, I feel like The Way We Wore will have its own legs with a new owner, and my vision is to find someone who is young and energetic and inspired and rich to take over. I mean, I'm seeing this transition starting in 2 to 3 years. Okay. So, yeah. You're like the third person in 2 weeks to ask about whether I've thought about writing a book. In all honesty, there's no time right now, and that's something that would have to happen after I've sold the business. But I've been so blessed in meeting some incredible people in this place. And I mean, everyone from Adolf Schumann, who founded Lillian in the 30s, to it's really incredible the journey that I've gone through and the people that I've met. So yeah, that's probably something I might do. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I think that the most valuable thing that I can say is it's never difficult selling great stuff. That if you're going to compromise and buy things that everybody else has, you're not going to separate yourself from the thousands of other people selling either in brick and mortar or on the internet. So learn to curate and to be picky about what you select. Do your homework. there's a lot of sleepers still out there, regardless of the fact that the internet and various shows like the Antique Roadshow and, you know, there are things out there that are waiting to be discovered. And, you know, part of the joy of this business is the treasure hunting. So, you know, do your homework and teach your hands to be the communicator, where if you close your eyes and run your fingers through a rack of clothes, you can spot the gem just with your tactile. And that is learned by going to really good vintage stores and asking questions and really looking and inspecting, but also going to contemporary fabric shops and understanding what the better fabrics are, because as soon as you see a really good fabric, you can assume that it's a designer piece, and then you turn it inside out and look to see how it was made. So yeah, don't compromise. Buy the great stuff. Don't buy the stuff that everybody else has. You know, bloggers are such a new animal. I think that there's a problem on many levels, because there are so many bloggers that have an agenda to get free things. And with vintage, you know, there's only one of each. So advertising a vintage business is not going to necessarily generate revenue. So we're dealing with a disadvantage. You know, the bloggers may not be as interested in promoting vintage because of their agenda. I would say that the bloggers with integrity will help perpetuate what I referred to earlier as the wonderful world, you know, the gospel. I personally feel that vintage, if people had at least a quarter to a third of their wardrobe in vintage, Mother Earth would be much healthier. And, you know, in addition, why do you want to look like everyone else? I mean, don't you want to express yourself with the clothing that you put on your body? I say your body is your canvas. So, bloggers that take that, embrace that, and are able to illustrate that with great images, I think are really doing a great service.
Okay.
Wow, that's a tough one. I think that, you know, I've been doing this for 35 years now, and the things that were available a third of a century ago are really hard to find now. So I think the evolution is going to have to be with repurposing. It's impossible to find things in excellent condition on a consistent basis. So companies like Reformation, who they pretty much, like, I don't know, 7 years ago or 8 years ago, came up with a cookie cutter template. And then they would go to thrift shops or rag houses and find dresses that could be cut and work with that cookie cutter template.
Okay.
And they updated and created these wonderful, sexy dresses that are really reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
She has a store in New York. I mean, celebrities shop there. That to me is exactly the direction that repurposing can go mainstream.
Okay.
Right? To do one of a kind is difficult because of the amount of time and energy you put into it,
Mm-hmm.
and how do you make your money back?
Right.
It's a tough nut to crack right now, but I think as time passes, more and more people will come up with creative ideas.
Okay.
You know, after being in this business for 30 plus years, the one thing that I really appreciate are women who come into the store that are willing to try things on, things that don't necessarily that they don't necessarily respond to outright, but because we carry pretty much every silhouette and every kind of style, This is a wonderful way for people to experiment in a safe environment to find silhouettes that can be a part of their personality, you know. And I use the expression about don't be a weenie, be brave. Um, have fun with what you wear, you know. Don't be creative, you know. Don't be so concerned about what other people are going to say. And vintage is a great way to get started on that road.